Hi, this is Brian from Enlightenspeed, and welcome to part 2 of our short video series, How to Build a Superpower Drum Machine using LaunchEon. And in this video, we're going to be looking at LaunchEon's management features, and we shall also be covering CV functions from the context of a drum machine. So let's get into it. First thing just to note is that we have completely changed the patterns, and we've gone for a more breakbeat kind of style with this one. So let's get a quick listen. So that's how it sounds. And we have kept the presets that was set up in the previous part, including the all off, on 1. And so our first task is to randomize the scenes again, and then we'll have a quick listen and build up the collection again. So let's hear what we got. So there's a few good ones there, and I've highlighted another 9. Now, there is another way to do this, which allows you to get even more results and different sounds, but we'll cover that in part 3, and for now, I'm just going to highlight the management side of things again. So we have 9 new scenes, and we wish to arrange them more elegantly. A really good way is to organise the columns as sets of scenes, where our main preset is at either the top or the bottom, and then each other pattern is basically a derivative of the main one. So in a multi-pattern setup, typically one of the devices will be the dominant device, if you will. In our case, it's Oomph Club, and for the highlighted scene 25, Oomph Club is on pattern 7. So for this method, I would then say that scene 25 is a derivative of scene 63, as that holds our main preset for 7. So we'll go through our new presets. We'll use the user numbering system just to mark which column they'll be going into. And we'll start with number 3, which we can see has it on pattern 5, and so we set its user number to 5. And then we'll move on to scene 4. In this case, we see it as off, so I'll set this one to 1. And then on to scene 6, we see this is on pattern 4, and we set the user number to 4. And by the miracle of television, they're all done. So we go back into CV and setup, And we go into our management screen and use the drag and drop to put everything with a user number onto its relevant pile at the bottom. And once again, by the miracle of television, those are all done. So now that we've got our piles here, we simply note to ourselves that these stacks we have are all built with no CV affecting the levels or any other parameter. And we'll now move on to the CV. First of all, we go to CV and Setup, and in our main tabs we select Values, and we see in the top left corner our global range controllers, which set the randomizer values for all ports, unless of course they're locked. And as we can see, it's at the full range, so we now need to get a listen to what happens when we randomise the CV to the full range. Okay, so that's obviously too harsh, and it's quite easy to see why. Some of the outgoing CV levels are up at 127 or close to it, while others are close to -127. This means some channels will get maxed out, while other channels are effectively silenced. So we need a more sensible set of ranges, and for a drum machine, to get realistic sounding variance, you really just want to allow a little bit of reduction and a very small amount of addition. But first, what I'm doing here is just setting them both to 0 and then hitting randomize again. And as you can see, this is an effective way of resetting all of the unlocked ports. So what kind of values will work? Let's first of all try much closer to 0. We'll experiment with -20 to 30 and have a quick listen to the results. Okay, so that works reasonably well. It depends really on exactly what you're aiming for. You'll get away with it in a hip-hop environment or possibly R&B, soul kind of thing. But for house or techno or hard dance or industrial kind of thing, it's not so easy to get away with, but it depends on what you're doing with it. Typically for house, I would want to reduce the range further still, and so far I'm quite happy with a range of -20 through 10. Also -30 tends to work out well for fills and breakdown kind of sections. So let's just get a quick listen to that. So that's a nice, polite, straightforward breakdown fill. If we go through the scenes, we'll find a few more that are a bit more adventurous. But for now, I'm going to move on and start talking about something which is not necessarily obvious. That's the fact that we've only used the scenes so far. We haven't actually done any morphing. And what happens when you morph with this setup, the patterns stay the same, but the mix will change. So effectively, every scene has its own set of morphs available to it. So let's use the scene only morph as we're seeing here. We'll just quickly have a listen to some of the things you can do. And so as you can hear there, it's easy to make smooth transition morphs, with the main thing to note being that the changes are only happening in CV and the patterns are not affected. So anyway, that's us for now. We've came quite a long way and our drum machine's beginning to look pretty good, but we still haven't added any sends. We'll deal with that in part 3, as well as showing you another technique to push the boat out as far as sound and patterns are concerned. But that's us for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for part 3. Take care. Bye bye.